Going into the real world, getting a job and earning for yourself is both exciting and frightening for fresh management accounting graduates. Job rejections are inevitable. Usually, the only experiences they can provide are their student organizations, brief internship experiences, and seminars or training they've participated in. This is why it is important that fresh graduates know what are the qualifications or competencies expected from them when they graduate. This would not only provide them ample time to develop these competencies, but also improve themselves as management accounting professionals. When seeking employment, academic knowledge and research about the company might not be enough. A 2019 study revealed that there is a growing demand from accounting bodies that require interpersonal, communication skills, and similar competencies important to create an impact when applying for a job. This suggests that non-accounting competencies also play a big role that increases one's chance of employment for accounting graduates. This is why this research aims to identify and compare the perceptions on the different management accounting competencies according to employers and Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting graduates from University of Santo Tomas in accordance with the framework provided by the international accounting bodies, specifically the Institute of Management Accountants. In order to accomplish this objective, we aim to answer the following questions. Number 1. How do employers perceive the competencies provided by the Institute of Management Accountants? Number 2. How do BSMA graduates perceive the competencies provided by the Institute of Management Accountants? Number 3. Is there a significant difference between the perceptions of the employers and BSMA graduates regarding the competencies provided by the Institute of Management Accountants? With a continuously developing environment, various international accounting bodies have constructed competency frameworks to guide professionals on the skills expected of them to become effective in the workforce. We researchers have looked into these competencies and identified that accounting competencies, business competencies, and professional competencies are the common set of skills that are expected from accountants. We have chosen to focus on the IMA Competency Framework as the UST-BSMA program specifically follows this framework. The IMA framework consists of 6 domains. The first one is strategy, planning, and performance, which encapsulates an individual's ability to critically evaluate risk and alternatives geared toward making a management accountant a visionary in the business environment. The next one is reporting and control, which aims to create stewards of financial transactions and performance. Third is technology and analytics, which makes one a catalyst for progress by targeting data analytics, data governance, and data visualizations to continuously increase operational and financial efficiency by effectively managing and analyzing data. Next is business acumen and operations that showcases the competencies required to contribute as a cross-functional business partner that understands and leads company-wide operations toward continuous improvement. Fifth is leadership, which recognizes the ability to motivate, communicate, and manage relationships to inspire teams to fulfill organizational tasks. And finally, professional ethics and values that demonstrates the capacity to identify ethical conflicts and strategically execute appropriate actions that is compliant with the law, regulations, and norms.
In discussing the review of related literature, it is significant to take note of the importance of the competencies listed in the framework of the Institute of Management Accountants, or the IMA. We have grounded most our research based on studies relating to competencies that accountants acquire throughout their academic journey. Even though there is already a large number of studies about the competencies needed for accountants, there is only a handful of them that focuses on management accounting graduates and how employers perceive them. There were some that claimed that the competencies accountants acquire throughout their college years are crucial when it comes to job application. There are studies that show a gap between accounting graduates and that of the employers when it comes to the perceived importance of competencies. Companies prefer competency levels that meet their standards and expectations for their industry. A separate literature acknowledges that the mastery of accounting alone is not enough to be considered as an accounting professional in the present. It is important to note that keeping up with modern technology during these times are essential to remain competitive in a globalized environment.
To identify and compare the perception of employers and BSMA graduates on management accounting competencies, this conceptual framework is used as a guide in achieving the study's objective. The framework shows two variables, employer's perception and the BSMA graduate's perception. There are numerous studies that emphasize the gap between the skills and competencies that accounting graduates have against what employers expect from them. This claim can be called as the skills acquisition shortfall. One of the major reasons for this gap is due to the continuous development of the business industry. To keep up with the competitive demand for improving business processes, wherein universities find it hard to keep up. As to why, professionals associations like the Institute of Management Accountants or IMA made competency frameworks to aid accounting professionals be knowledgeable and remain relevant in the industry. With that, the researchers of the study aims to know if a discrepancy also exists in the context of management accounting profession, specifically to the perception of the UST BSMA graduates and their employers by using the competency framework of IMA as the basis. Furthermore, to satisfy the aims of the research, the third research question will be predefined by the hypothesis if there is a statistical difference or if there is no statistical difference in the perception of employers and BSMA graduates on the IMA competencies.
The research design of this study is descriptive comparative research that uses quantitative data, which focuses on identifying and comparing the perceptions of employers and BSMA graduates on management accounting competencies. The chosen participants of this study are the BSMA graduates from the batch 2018, 2019, and 2020 in the University of Santo Tomas and the respective employers in their company. There are a total of 665 graduates, thus there were also 665 employers. These numbers represent the needed population that was considered in the conduct of the study. In the population identified, the sample size is 244 for both employers and BSMA graduates, having a total of 488 respondents. This sample size was generated using creative research systems. This online application helped researchers in computing the number of respondents needed in a study by using chosen population, confidence level, and confidence interval as a basis. For the data collection procedure, data was obtained through two separate 4-point Likert scale questionnaires, one for employers and the other for BSMA graduates. The questionnaire was based on the IMA competency framework and underwent validity testing before being given to the respondents. Lastly, the data analysis procedure is done through a parametric test, specifically a t-test by comparing the means of the responses of the employers and UST AMV COA's BSMA graduates. Similar studies analyze their data using an independent sample t-test or Levens if the data is normally distributed. Additionally, in the study of NALUS in 2021, descriptive statistics was used as the mean, variance, and standard deviation. These are important variables in comparing two groups of data.
The following table is arranged from the highest to the lowest evaluation of employers' perception and management accounting competencies. As we can see in these three competencies, it is highly valued by employers. These results coincide with various studies that state the importance of technical competence for accounting graduates and the importance of having a leadership mindset even for new employees. Further, as the modern age gives a deeper look into an employee's being an ethical professional and being skilled in technology and analytics, it is no surprise that employers of management accountants think so as well. Lastly, even if the last competency in the list is viewed as very important and not like the previous five competencies that is viewed as extremely important, we can still say that this competency is seen as essential by employers as the current business environment requires accountants to go beyond the traditional accounting. As we can see from the table, the three highest competencies from the perceptions of BSME graduates are ethics, in leadership, and technology. These results corroborate with what the Institute of Management Accountants aim for current and future accounting professionals, as they believe that these competencies are what is needed to further solidify the accounting profession, as various accounting scandals had been surfacing the past few years, and the necessity for more technology-savvy accountants that can face the ever-changing business landscape is really necessary. Interestingly enough, compared to the findings of other studies, business acumen, reporting and control, strategy planning, and performance are evaluated lower than what is expected, as previously main studies show otherwise. Yet even with that, BSMA graduates still view these competencies as extremely important. The results of this study can be supported with what Ciol said, which is that proper methods and learning institutions will ensure the probability of having students be prepared for the workforce. From the results, by comparing the perceptions of employers and BSME graduates, they have all resulted in a p-value less than 0.05. Therefore, the null hypothesis is rejected. Going back to the aims of the study, we were curious if a gap also exists in the context of management accounting. And in this study, we found out that yes, there is a gap, but it is different from what we expected, because the gap leans more on the positive side, as BSME students of the USTA and VIGOA valued highly the competencies in the framework of the Institute of Management Accountants. A reason for this result can be looked into the curriculum of the BSME program at UST, as they followed the competency framework of IMA. Then how did IMA framework help? The framework of IMA is constantly updated by following the changing demands from both accounting and finance professionals. Thus, it really is geared towards for management accountants be relevant in the job market. Further, the positive results from the study can also be connected to various non-exam based assessments done in AMV. Thus, by having the curriculum of a BSMA program follow the IME framework and have various assessments that portray real-life job experiences, a learning institution can produce competent accounting professionals that can face the ever-changing business landscape. But the delimitation of this study is that our only respondents are BSMA students from the USCA and VCOA and their respective employers. This can imply that the results in the study be only accurate for the said scope. With that, further studies can have a much broader perspective by having a range representative of a much larger population. For learning institutions, continuous development of the management accounting curriculum is essential in producing future competent professionals. This can be done by assessing the current teaching methods, learning outcomes, and materials used in classes, and by adding outcome-based assessments. By applying those, students can be more effective in improving their skills, as it can help them identify points of learning that cannot be solely done in paper format examinations. For accounting institutions, constant assessment of management accounting competencies that will enable accounting professionals to be updated in new accounting policies and practices that can aid accountants to broaden their capabilities and skills, and other efforts that can portray both current and future aspects that accounting professionals should have to be competent contributor to the business environment. For future researchers, we suggest that further studies be made regarding the study on management accounting competencies be made in a broader scope. Through this, a shared understanding of the trends or perceptions in management accounting competencies can be put together. Additionally, we urge future researchers to use other methods of measuring competencies like interviews or exam-based assessments for a more deeper understanding in this line of study.
This research has identified the perceptions of employers and BSMA graduates on needed skills in the workplace. Both groups have shown that the competencies listed in the IMA framework are essential aspects of the business environment, but there is still statistically significant difference in their perceptions. This result coincides with most studies that research accounting competencies and the divergence of the ideas on the importance of needed skills in the accounting field. Contrary to that, this study has shown that graduates view both soft skills and hard skills as important compared to other studies that suggest that accounting graduates only focus on hard skills. With that, this research recommends that learning institutions and accounting associations focus on creating competent professionals by having a system that enables current and future accounting professionals to be prepared for the ever-changing demands in the environment.